Football never stops spinning its web of intrigue. One transfer window closes, and immediately another storm brews on the horizon. Dreams are tested, careers are reshaped, and decisions made in the heat of August can alter the fate of clubs for decades. This summer, the drama is relentless. Arsenal are daring to break the mold with a move for a South Korean Wonderkid. Manchester United are playing catch-up in a race they thought they were winning. Manchester City could be about to lose one of their most trusted figures between the posts. Newcastle are scrambling for the striker who can define their next era. And across Europe, fallen stars seek rebirth while new names threaten to turn the order of football on its head. It is a summer of ambition, desperation, and bold gambles, and every whisper of a deal carries with it the potential to ignite shockwaves across the game. Few rumors have sparked as much excitement as Arsenal's pursuit of KANG-IN. The 23-year-old South Korean star has been quietly developing his craft at Paris Saint-Germain, delivering a season of mixed fortunes that left him restless for more. 7 goals, 6 assists, flashes of brilliance, yet not enough minutes, not enough trust. At PSG, competition is a battlefield of egos, and Lee found himself trapped in its hierarchy. He wants more than to be an occasional substitute, called upon when the match is already decided. He wants a stage, a place to create, a team that believes in him as much as he believes in himself. Arsenal, with their blend of structure and attacking flair, could be that place. Mikel Arteta has built a side on tactical precision where each player is both artisan and soldier, and Lee, capable of drifting wide, cutting in with his cultured left foot, or weaving centrally as a playmaker, fits that blueprint almost perfectly. While Manchester United dallied with the idea of bringing him in, Arsenal acted. Reports suggest their sporting director Andrea Berta reached directly to the players' camp, bypassing intermediaries, signaling not just interest, but intent. United may regret their hesitation, for in the ruthless arena of transfers, hesitation is weakness. Kang-In has already told PSG executives he wants out and has no desire to extend his contract, even though it runs until 2028. The Parisians, pragmatic as ever, are prepared to sanction a sale, but only if the money is right. Arsenal are weighing their hand, knowing the market has already inflated far beyond the $22 million PSG themselves once paid. Yet in a summer where titles and futures may hinge on one spark of creativity, the cost may well be justified. Contrast this with United's position. Under Ruben Amorim, they are still wrestling with systems, roles, and identities. Would Lee truly fit into a structure that demands 2 number 10s tucked behind a lone striker? Could he thrive alongside Bruno Fernandes, competing with others, desperate for minutes? Arsenal's proposition feels simpler: a stage, a defined role, a clear future. Lee does not want to wait, he wants football now, and Arsenal are giving him precisely that. If they strike quickly, North London may soon be welcoming a South Korean star who could transform their attack for years to come. But Arsenal's boldness is not the only storyline gripping Europe. In Manchester, another saga is unfolding, one that could redefine the goalkeeping hierarchy of world football. Ederson, the dependable Brazilian who has been Pep Guardiola's foundation at the back for years, may finally be leaving the Etihad. Galatasaray have launched a surprise move, tabling an official 10 million bid. City laughed it off. The figure is far below their valuation, yet the Turkish giants are not giving up. For Ederson, the lure is real. 5 years, $8 million per season, a contract that would make him one of the highest paid players in Turkey's history. The chance to succeed, Fernando Muslera, to lead a project with Champions League football still on the table, is a temptation that could test even the most loyal of players. Ederson's desire for change has lingered since last summer, when he eyed Saudi Arabia's riches, but found no agreement between City and potential suitors. Now, with Galatasaray dangling financial security and footballing relevance, the timing feels different. Yet City are calm, almost calculating, for they already see the next move in the domino chain. Gianluigi Donnarumma, once the golden boy of Italian football, is unsettled at PSG. With Lucas Chevalier usurping his place, Donnarumma suddenly looks expendable. A player once valued as indispensable could now be prized away for around 40 million, maybe less. And reports suggest City and Donnarumma are already open to the idea. The Italian would gain a career lifeline at the very highest level, while City would secure a world-class goalkeeper with years still ahead of him. For Pep, it is a classic maneuver. Sell one asset, reinvest in another, and emerge stronger than before. Ederson might get his payday, Galatasaray their marquee star, PSG their wage bill trimmed, and City their next foundation. It is the perfect symmetry of modern football business. Ruthless but efficient. Elsewhere, Nottingham Forest are making moves of their own, though theirs is less about future ambition and more about redemption. Douglas Luiz, once a prized midfielder at Aston Villa, left for Juventus in a $50 million switch that quickly soured. In Turin, he never truly fit. Managers doubted his role, critics hammered his discipline, and his confidence withered. Now, just a year later, Juventus are prepared to cut their losses. For Forest, playing Europa League football, it is a calculated risk. Spend $35 million, less than what Juve originally paid, and gamble on a player who once dominated the Premier League's midfields. Luiz has already agreed personal terms, and Friday's negotiations brought what Italians call white smoke, all parties in alignment. For Juventus, his departure clears space and funds for Randall Kolo Muani. For Luiz, it is a chance to rebuild, to remind England of the player Villa fans once adored. And for Forest, it is a statement that they are no longer just survivors, but ambitious competitors on the continental stage. The same cannot be said yet for Newcastle United, whose summer has spiraled into uncertainty. Alexander Isak, the jewel of their attack, has made clear his desire to leave, with Liverpool circling hungrily. Eddie Howe has danced around the subject, giving ambiguous answers that fool no one. Newcastle cannot sanction his departure without a replacement, and that urgency has thrust them into the arms of PSG once again. Gonçalo Ramos, the Portuguese forward once billed as Europe's next great number 9, is suddenly available. PSG are finished with him, tired of the inconsistency, the underwhelming returns compared to the $56 million invested. 16 starts last season is not enough for a player of his profile. For Newcastle, the fit is obvious, a direct replacement. For Isak, a striker with pace, technical prowess, and self-sufficiency, but the obstacles are steep. Ramos demands $200,000 per week, wages that would make him Newcastle's highest paid player in history. And beyond that, does he even want the move? He has already rejected Manchester United, Chelsea, and Juventus this summer. The idea of trading Paris for Tyneside may not appeal to him, however logical it looks on paper, yet Newcastle's hands are tied. Without a new striker, they cannot release Isak. Without releasing Isak, their summer stalls. The clock ticks toward September, and the weight of this decision grows heavier by the hour. Not all departures carry the same glamour, but for Arsenal, another subplot brews in the form of Oleksandr Zinchenko. Once a trusted lieutenant of Arteta's system, the Ukrainian has been gradually marginalized, his role reduced, his influence fading. Fenerbahce smell opportunity. With Jose Mourinho now at the helm, they are moving aggressively, sending sporting director Devin Ozek directly to London for talks. Negotiations began at $10 million and consensus is close, yet competition is stirring. Porto have expressed interest, Betis too, though neither can match Fenerbahce's resources or Mourinho's allure. For Zinchenko, the choice is stark. Stay at Arsenal, fight for scraps of playing time, and risk fading from international relevance. Or take a leap, perhaps sacrificing wages for the chance to be a centerpiece once again. Mourinho's shadow looms large. The promise of revitalization under one of football's most iconic managers is not easily ignored. A decision is coming. Soon, and wherever Zinchenko lands, it will mark the closing of one chapter and the opening of another. Chelsea too face their own dilemma with Nicholas Jackson. The Senegalese striker, after 2 seasons of steady growth, finds himself slipping down the pecking order following the arrivals of Liam Delap and João Pedro. Nearly 100 appearances, 30 goals, 12 assists. Solid numbers, yet not enough to guarantee a future in blue. Jackson knows it. He has already told friends he wants a move. Aston Villa in the Europa League and in desperate need of competition for Ollie Watkins see him as a natural fit. Newcastle, grappling with the Isak saga, are also circling. Chelsea are prepared to lower their asking price from $80 million to $60 million, recognizing the market realities. For Villa, the story writes itself. Jackson reuniting with Unai Emery, the manager who first nurtured his talents at Villarreal. For Newcastle, it is simply survival. Fill the hole Isak might leave or risk collapse. Wherever Jackson ends up, one thing is certain. His Chelsea story is drawing to a close. The only question is whether his next chapter will be one of shared minutes at Villa Park or the heavy responsibility of leading Newcastle's line. And then there is Manchester United, always chasing, always scrambling, and now And now, once again, confronted with the irony of their own indecision, Adam Wharton, the English midfield gem, could have been theirs for a modest fee last year. Instead, they hesitated and Crystal Palace swooped. For $22 million, they secured a player who has since become one of the most promising holding midfielders in the league. Now, United want him again, but the price has tripled. Palace demand $60 million. Some even say he is worth $100 million, a claim perhaps exaggerated, yet not entirely absurd when one considers his performances. At just 21, Wharton has 36 Premier League appearances, an FA Cup, a Community Shield, and even an England call-up to his name. He is technically sound, tactically intelligent, and tireless in midfield. For Amorim, he is the archetype of the player he wants. Young, ambitious, and adaptable to his system, yet the fee gnaws at United's hierarchy, £60 million. For a player they once ignored at a third of the cost. It is the story of their last decade in microcosm. Spend big because they waited too long, miss the bargains because they hesitated. And now, once more, they must decide whether to swallow their pride and pay up, or watch another club steal in and take the player they so clearly need. Everywhere you look, the stories intertwine. Arsenal chasing a Wonderkid who could electrify their attack. Manchester City preparing for a seismic goalkeeping change. Newcastle caught in a web of strikers, each move dependent on the last. Nottingham Forest daring to revive a fallen star, Chelsea accepting the inevitable with a forward who wants out, and United forever caught between vision and execution. This is the theater of the transfer window, not just numbers on contracts, but tales of ambition, desperation, betrayal, and rebirth. Careers pivot in an instant, clubs gamble millions on hope, and fans wait breathlessly for the official announcement that changes everything. So what do you think? Will Arsenal succeed in bringing KANG-IN to the Emirates and light up their attack with a South Korean sensation? Will Ederson truly leave the Etihad? And if so, is Donnarumma the man to carry Pep's revolution forward? Can Newcastle convince Ramos to take up the challenge of replacing Isak, or will they falter under the pressure? And what about Wharton? Should United finally pay the price, or is it another chapter in their long history of transfer regrets? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you've enjoyed diving into the drama of this transfer window, make sure to hit like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you don't miss the next twist in football's endless story.